What is up, homies? My name is Jeremetaru and today we are going to look at
Bruh.
Transformers is a series of huge robots that could transform into any kind of things. For example, they can turn into cassette player, a scorpion, and even a vending machine. But our focus for today's review will be this boomer right here, which is not good for some reason. First of all, the painting and the sculpting of this figure is great. Even though I'm actually not that sure about how Jetfire actually look in the movie, due to the fact that the movie didn't show that much about his body, especially on the belly. But the best thing is, they managed to make it look like a haunted object. But sadly, they didn't give a single fuck to this guy. From what I can tell, this might be a good representation on how they made him back then. I mean, look at all this kibbles in that backpack too. It's making him look weird while being creepy. And now we can come to the point why I said this figure is not that good. First of all, he can't stand on its own. And that problem is caused by his enormously huge backpack. You might need some little effort to make him stand.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
The only way to make this boomer stand is to make his legs standing straight. Or, you can position his leg in a weird way like this. But that's not all. There is another way to make him stand, which is a wheeled cane. You simply put it into this hands like this. And congratulations, you just completed his look as a boomer even more. But that's not all. You can make him a little bit cooler with his missile launcher. And to attach it, you only need to put it on this tab right here. And there you go, a fully weaponized Jetfire, which makes it only 2 accessories for this guy to have. And that is actually a bit disappointing, because it feels limited for what we can do to pose this figure. And before we talk about posability even more, this robot fella does not only have that look of a haunted object, but also. And to activate that voice feature, you only need to pull this tab down. There is another feature, which is on his missile launcher, which only requires you to pull this trigger. Now let us do some blast check.
What are you, fucking gay?
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, is he able to pose that well? We got swivel on the head. Swivel on the hanging tits. His arm moves out. His shoulder can rotate. Bicep swivel. 90-degree bend at the elbow. His forefingers are on a hinge joint. Swivel on the wrist. His legs can move out that far. And a bit limited to the back, because of his backpack armor. His legs can swivel. The back part of his leg is on a hinge joint. A really good split. Posability of this figure is a bit weird, especially on his legs. But if you have some dank ideas on how to pose this figure, you might wanna try this, and this. Now let's do some size comparison. Here it is with my Vitamin Rider Hero Series Omazeo, Voyager Class ROTF Optimus Prime, Leader Class ROTF Optimus Prime. Now if you do watch the movie, you might realize what are they gonna do. Since he's a Transformers, of course that cones and wings on his backpack aren't just for display, correct, Hen? Shin.
3,000 years later. One eternity later.
After that long transformation, he became a really long boy. And also really accurate to the original SR-71 Blackbird. But of course it does not goes the same for this part.
Do you honestly think you're fucking funny?
Even though it's a good plane mode from above, watch what actually happens below. They seriously didn't give a fuck about anything in this part. And for the posability, there is only hinge joint on the fins. And a hinge joint on the landing gear. These wheels are made of plastic, which allows him to roll. And if you press this cleverly hidden button right here, you will get his flying sound. Now let's do some size comparison. Here it is with Sazabi Verka flight mode, perfect grade unicorn Banshee, and finally, leader class ROTF Optimus Prime. You better be fucking grateful I turned him into this mode for comparison. But in the end, is he really worth your money? I terribly sorry, this figure is actually not that worth it. But he is actually worth as a part of this figure. But of course we'll talk about that later. As an individual figure, he has a limited choice of posing, and also lacks in accessories. But if you wanted to complete your Transformers collection, he might still be worth it, but don't expect it to be that good. And my score for this figure will be Kibble-tastic display piece per 10.
Bruh.